Welcome back. So we just did so much madness. We added so many things here to actually start using this, figuring out how to get the parameters from the route, right? So think of the route again. What I'm trying to accomplish right now is getting this parameter right here in the end, the number one. Now, this is a very, very simple route, right? You could have stuff like equals and equals and yeah. So you could have very complex routes. So that's why they made something called the parents map, that you can actually go and grab a lot of information from your parameters. We only need this one item, but I just want you guys to understand that this is because it's so simple that this looks so complex. When you start having a more complex URL, this gives so much power and makes it so easy for you to work with it. So because it's simple, it looks like we're doing a lot of work, and we kind of are, to actually get this single ID right here. But let's just go and get it. Let's try and jump into the code and try and see if we can now get that actual ID. So inside the code, to actually get this ID, now we're going to use the route, right? The activated route. And on that guy, we are going to use something called the parent map. Now think of this as a map with all the parameters. Remember, this is very simple. Right now we only have an ID, but it could be a huge map of a lot of different parameters that we're actually getting from the outside, right? So this is kind of a map of all the parameters available for this specific URL at this specific time, the activated route right now. And right now we have one in there, that's an ID. So that's what we want to get. Now, the cool thing is that this is actually an observable. And why is it an observable? Because whenever you're done creating this parameter map, just let me know. So I'll subscribe, right? I'll subscribe to this service. Say when you are done actually creating the map, let me know. And then what I'll get is actually a list of params right here. And I'll just do I'll do it with this lambda expression right here. I'll get the params, the fat arrow notation. And in here, I can now just console log. I'll just do a console log. And by the way, if you guys really don't like this fat arrow notation, you can always add curly brackets in the end right here and make it into more of a, should we call it a method, right? Because now I can make it into 2 lines like this, and it looks more like a real message, right? So now it's a function I'm calling right here. And then in here, I'm going to just print out the params, and then I'm going to get a specific parameter called ID. Right? So this is all the parameters available, but I only want to get the ID. I don't want to get all the different parameters in there. Let's see if this runs. So jumping into our code right now, it should print out 2, and there we go. It just printed out 2 down here. Let's try and jump to ID 1, and it printed out 1. Let's jump to ID of 98, and it printed out 98. And notice the delay, because it takes a bit of time to load the page, and that's why I'm kind of waiting for the subscription to show up. So that's it. Now we're actually using the router or the activated route to get the parameter map, to subscribe to it. So when you get all the parameters ready for me, I'm going to grab one parameter from this guy, and I'm going to use that for actually trying to get my customer. See you in the next lesson where we do that.